Today's video log is going to be on hyperpigmentation or melasma or color problems. I have a lot of patients come to me talking about problems with their color on their skin, and they want to know what to do with it. And so I usually wind up saying the same thing over and over again. So in order to sort of limit that and also give you a little bit of education, I want to talk to you about exactly what you need to do to manage this. The first thing and foremost thing you need to understand about color on the skin is that it's a process. So I always say the skin is a process, meaning no matter whatever I do to treat it, you're going to have to treat it again because hormones and sun are the two culprits. So controlling hormones, bioidentical hormones, or whatever it may be to manage it could be helpful. But the number one thing, oftentimes the biggest culprit, is sun exposure. So I'll say the thing that you need to really avoid is sun exposure. With chronic sun exposure, it doesn't matter what I do to treat it, you're not going to get an improvement. And that's a real thing you need to understand. And we're going to go back and say that again during this video. So how do you manage it? Well, besides avoidance of sun exposure and maybe trying to look if there's a hormonal issue with it, and with the understanding that you're going to need ongoing treatment, we're going to look for some intervention. Glycolic washes, vitamin C, I think those are basics that you should be doing to maintain and limit the chance of having any recurrence or worsening of your coloration. But the other thing that's important is I think a medical grade solution such as Triluma, which is something that has 4% hydroquinone in it, can be very, very effective. Now let's talk a little bit how to use this, what this product's all about, and some alternatives. It's not that you have to use this particular brand. There are many brands out there that are actually quite good. The benefit I think Triluma offers, and some of the other brands offer as well, like Obagi, etc., is that it combines three elements. It combines 4% hydroquinone, which is a bleaching product, medical grade, you cannot buy that over the counter. Number two is it has a steroid component, fluticasone, and then a retin-A type of product. Now what's so important of combining those three is that it's not, the steroids are not to cut down some of the irritation, because there can be a little bit, it's to actually increase the efficacy. So the combination of the retin-A, the fluticasone or steroid, and the 4% hydroquinone are used in conjunction to actually improve the color of the skin, the melasma, much, much more effectively than any single component alone. Now, how to use this product? What do you need to know about it? I usually recommend using this at night. You take, when you open this up, you take a pea size onto your finger, and you touch it at 4 points on your face, and then you rub it in. So I generally like to advocate rubbing it over the whole area so that it works evenly over the entire area instead of just test spotting the little areas. The problem I find if you do try to do this is you almost invariably will create a halo around it. So I don't like that, even if you're fair-skinned. Now, the nice news is that usually if you lose a little pigment around the area, you can stop using it, and actually the loss of pigmentation will come back. So this product can be used reportedly safely all the way to what we call a Fitzpatrick 5, which is a dark-skinned African-American. I think it's a little bit probably risky. I don't want to say that I have a lot of experience. You may want to ask your dermatologist about that. I usually treat pretty safely to a 4, possibly occasionally with a 5, with the idea that, a 4 would be like an Hispanic and Asian person. A 5 or 6 would be much, much darker, and a 5 would be like an Indian. So you want to be careful with treating really dark skins, but remember, if you start to see too much bleaching, you want to stop. Now, a few more things you need to understand about medical grade bleaching is that when we're talking about hydroquinone, it is medical strength, it is processed through the liver. So if you have fundamental liver problems through whatever reasons, you want to be careful with this. You may want to ask your internist or your family doctor. Again, this is a prescription. Generally speaking, they have shown no long-term issues with your liver with using a 5% cream over selective areas, such as the face. So that's the next point I want to bring up. The people in Central Africa that were trying to bleach their body using 20% hydroquinone actually died. They had issues with it because it was massive doses over a large area of the body. But selective use in a small area like the face has shown no long-term issues with this. In my understanding, again, if you find research to the counter that's fine. I think it's long-term, it's safe for small areas. The thing that I would recommend, though, in general, I'm not a big fan of using long-term chemicals. So if I can get you to the point where it's bleached down, I would like to try to give you a little hiatus and go back onto a vitamin C glycolic attempt, and then cycle you through until you start having times where it flares up again that you need the product. So that's usually what I like to advocate, is a time to try this to get it down, and then have it come back and then come back and use a glycolic or vitamin C type of treatment to maintain the color or keep the color down. How long does it take for this to work? It usually takes anywhere between, I would say, 4 to 6 weeks to begin to work. It could take longer. It could take even up to 8 to 12 weeks. The thing that you need to understand, though, there's two more things. Sun. I told you I'd bring it up again, and I want to bring it up with you. Do not get in the sun. There's two major issues. If you go on the beach and go in the sun, this product, A, will not work 1% at all. This will not work if you're in the sun. The second thing that's very important beyond that is to understand that if you're using the product, it really is dangerous if you're in the sun. It actually creates what's called photosensitivity, and you can actually get a sunburn induced. So you really want to be careful. Both the hydroquinone product as well as the retin-A product are both photosensitizers. So you want to be very, very, very careful with that. So those are some basic understandings of Triluma, or just a bleaching, medical grade bleaching product. There are some new products that my spa has been experimenting with called Melanage and things like that. So there's a lot of things that are constantly changing, but I think this is a fundamental tutorial in understanding some of the issues that you should know about. And remember, this is really a prescription product, so this is not here to give you medical advice. If you are getting this product from your physician, then you need to ask your physician what he thinks about it. These are really specifically for my patients who've been prescribed this product through me. So hopefully that was a helpful short tutorial on how to manage and control melasma and hyperpigmentation and discoloration of the skin.